I got lots of love for my crew that is. You know. Soldier boy, tell.
What's up? How we doing tonight? You already know what time it is. And the room is filled. We're drafting another Best Ball Mania 5 team. Let's get it. How you doing, Tyler? Hope you had a good Monday. A busy Monday. Get the week started off right. What is this? Flock skirp tonight? Okay. Feeling great in the 2 spot. Jam to live a little too. Greater than. Yeah, just vibing, you know how it is. Keeping these best ball streets on their toes. Kicking it off from the 8 spot tonight. Okay. Kind of in the middle of the draft. See if we can get some value to follow us and scoop it up. I don't think I've drafted from the 8 spot all too often in my last couple drafts. I've been drafting more from the front end of the board. Some CMC, some Tyreek, some CD Lamb teams. Yeah, 2-hole action's greater than. Catch my drift, says Tyler. This is doing all right, bro. We all right. Day job trying my patience, but we press on. I've heard this story before. Sounds familiar. Gotta press on, though. And that's what it's all about. Pretty standard draft so far. Been a lot going on in the best ball streets. I'd say people are going crazy drafting hound dogs, poodles, pugs, puppy drops tomorrow. It's gonna be a Breece Hall team. All right, we've already drafted a running back. How are we going to dig ourselves out? Let's see what wide receiver looks like when it comes back around. It's really the 4th round pick that I get more worried about from this position. Jonathan Taylor goes in the 1st round. Feeling out the room. Feels a little bit high T. Could we see Gibbs go in the 1st round? Or with the 1st pick in the 2nd? Let's see it. Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison. Oh, there it is. I knew I could feel the high T presence in the Jonathan Taylor pick. Comes back with Jahmyr Gibbs. How can you resist? Brandon Ayuk getting steamed up on trade rumors. What? Where's he going to go? All along we've been saying if he doesn't stay in San Francisco with the 49ers, that Brandon Ayuk could be, a Steeler. I think if he goes to the Cowboys, that would be fire. Breece Hall. I usually go Nico here. Let's keep it going. Nico Collins, my wide receiver 8 in best ball this season. Take him right after A.J. Brown. But But I have been trying to mix in. Yeah, Tyler says in Brees we trust. Yeah, I feel good about Brees. Always get a top 3 running back. Definitely could be the year you want to take a running back in the first round. And, yo, what up, Pat Joy? GM. Thanks for joining the stream. Just kicking it off with the Best Ball Mania 5. And, started off with Brees Hall, Nico Collins. Nico's my wide receiver 8, so I draft him frequently in round 2. He's becoming my highest exposed player. He's pretty much there already. And I do like to balance it out a bit and still get some exposure to all the other wide receivers in round 2. It's just I'm definitely going to be underexposed to guys like Garrett Wilson, slightly underexposed to Marvin Harrison and Drake London. Dialed back my Drake London. I was at 20% Drake London early on, but now I'd rather click Devontae Adams, Nico Collins in the same area. So sprinkling it in when it makes sense. Hope you're having a good night, my man. Kicking off the week with a strong Monday. Let me know if you're out here drafting. This is the Best Ball Mania 5. I think it's I've lost count. It's like number 45 or something. I'm trying to work up to that 50 number and then get real in the weeds, looking at my exposures, what teams I've built out so far, what quarterbacks I've stacked up, set the course for my second 50 and then my third 50 as we max out Best Ball Mania 5 this summer. Stay tuned. Pretty standard stuff in this room. A lot of wide receivers going off the board. You see Malik Neighbors going in the second round. That's a signal. He's kind of, to me, a guy I keep an eye on. There's been a run of wide receivers after Jamar Gibbs goes. Yeah, I was just checking in at halftime, the score with the Celtics and the Mavs game. I don't really have a horse in the race, so just kind of casually following the finals as it is. Can't really expect the Mavericks to come back down 3-0. They win one game, it's 3-1 in the series, but I think Boston looks like the stronger team. Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, DJ Moore. To me, that feels like it could work. That's kind of a fun start. Bet the guy in the 3 spot who took CeeDee Lamb was hoping Saquon might make it back to him. Takes Debo and Laporta. Not the badgiest room I've ever seen. Not sure what to expect this early in the draft. Laporta goes early 3rd round. Cooper Kupp, I'm telling you, saw this last night too. Kupp's been rising up boards. Kupp's going to end up being a 2nd round pick at this rate in wide receiver heavy rooms. He's borderline. People will reach for him at the end of the 2nd. I'm still a little bit higher on Malik Neighbors, Devonta Smith. I do like DJ Moore. This next pick got a lot of options. Pick 32, and I come back around with 41. Zay Flowers was one of those guys I was targeting. I like to take Zay in the back half of the 3rd round frequently. One of my top wide receivers. Can go Diggs here. Could go Dell here. Kyron, Derrick Henry. Am I really going to commit to the Texans this early on? I guess so. Let's do it. We've gone down this path before. see if we can kind of steer this team forward, not just fall into the exact same pattern when I do go Nico and Diggs. Pretty much what you got to do is, from what I've seen, it's still nice to get an elite tight end if you can get one that falls to you. It's kind of an awkward spot here. Either I got to go with my next pick or hope another one comes back around at pick 56. But what you got to do from here on out, when you start off with Brees and then go Nico Diggs, you got to take a lot of wide receivers really early. You got to make up for double dipping on the Texans. Because eventually, and what could end up happening is it's either going to be either or. Either Nico or Diggs goes off week 17 is the guy you need. But, you know, on some teams you might want to do a skinny stack with Stroud. And then you just get all the upside. Here, because I've already got 2 Texans, you know, maybe I don't have to play it through Stroud. Could play it through Lamar. It's a little bit of a weird spot here, though. Taking Lamar a bit early if I do. Hard to get Andrews to fall back. So Zay Flowers already gone. That's why I'm thinking this is more of a Stroud team than a Lamar team. See what we can do here, though. Josh Allen off the board. Travis Kelce goes. I'm on the clock. Calling my name to take either T or McBride. Jalen Hurts is there, of course. Never a bad pick. I don't know how I'd make it work with this team. Hate to pass on him. Definitely already made my detours. Let's go with T. T's a fine pick. Just signed a 1-year contract. Don't call it a franchise tag. Yeah, Jalen Hurts goes the next pick. Lamar goes to this team with Bijan, Devontae Adams, Zay Flowers. I like that start. GM, Meatwad. What up, buddy? Hope you're having a great Monday. Thanks for saying what's up in the chat. We're kicking it here, vibing, drafting up another Best Ball Mania 5. So far through the first 4 rounds, out of the 8th spot, Breece Hall, Nico Collins, and Steph Diggs, Houston Texans. We're lining up our Texans in a row right now. Let's see if we can make something magic happen. I mean, I was 1 pick away from taking Tank Dell. That's something I have not done. I have had Nico Dell. I've had Nico Diggs. Haven't had all 3, and I don't know if I would want to do that. But I'm still kind of on the fence. Do I want more Diggs or more Dell? It's up in the air. I go with T. Higgins with my 4th round pick. Passed on Jalen Hurts. Passed on Lamar. Passed on Mark Andrews. Derrick Henry went in the 3rd round, so I've got some late bring back options we can line up with these Texans. So I'm not worried about it right now. Just gonna keep seeing what falls to us, what kind of value we can get on the board. Amari Cooper's been rising up boards too. I'm not surprised to see Pittman fall, Pickens go early, Cooper go early, Pacheco going early. I like Pacheco in the 4th round. I think Pacheco makes a lot of sense in this 44 to 50 range. ETN goes. 52 is a great value on ETN. Goes to a team that needed a hero running back, as it was. Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Cooper Kupp, Trey McBride, Travis Etienne. I like that start through 5 picks. I'm up next. Dalton Kincaid gone. Hollywood Brown gone. Not that I was going to take Hollywood, but All right, here's the game plan. It's a Stroud pick, pretty obviously. Lining up some options. Let's see who can fall to us. Typically, maybe I'd get a little bit riskier. Probably 20% of the time I'm going to want to push CJ Stroud on this corner. The reason I didn't do it here, the guy who picks right after me got Tank Dell. He's going to see CJ Stroud. If he doesn't take him at 57, he would definitely take the falling value, take a quarterback past ADP at 64 that stacks up with Tank Dell, even though he's got a bigger bet on Drake London and Puka. Couldn't risk it. Also, the team with A.J. Brown missed out on Jalen Hurts. You could easily see him taking a Stroud, pairing him up with Derrick Henry, trying to make something happen. Who knows? So because he didn't have a quarterback, and then the drafter in 12 spot, Stroop, didn't have a QB, I didn't feel good about the odds that Stroud would make it back. I think I'll just take him on this team. Let's see if we can get lucky with our next wide receiver pick. There's a couple upside rookies I'm looking at here. Usually the way I play this, yeah, Mixon going is fine. Mixon's kind of a fun pick if you just want to do go all out with the Texans. And I don't think it's a terrible value. Mixon, he's going to get a lot of touches in that backfield. Not the kind of running back to ever let any of his backfield mates take a lot of snaps. So, a guy who stays on the field. I mean, if Devin Motor Singletary could relegate Dameon Pierce back to the bench, what do you think Joe Mixon's going to do to him? Dameon Pierce is not going to be touching the ball that much, except when the Texans are up by 2 scores, running out the clock, which could be something. So, still, you could make a case in some ways. I really wanted a Dunze there, maybe even a Ladd McConkey. Pick 65. Do I bite the bullet? Do I go elite tight end? I've already taken, what would this look like? Brian Thomas could be the pick here. Take a Brian Thomas. Upside pick. A lot of fun. Need to build out these wide receivers. Don't want to get buried before my next pick at 80. I've seen Jameson Williams and Christian Watson, who typically I could expect to be there. My next pick around 80. They're going a little bit sooner these days, so didn't want to risk it. Didn't want to wait to get my 4th wide receiver in the 7th round. Let's see if I can make up for missing out on the elite tight ends a bit later. I've got some ideas. And then, of course, running back, I'm going with a hero build, it looks like, around Breece Hall.
Soldier boy, tell.
And you already know what time it is. Time to finish this Best Ball Mania 5 draft. Thanks for kicking it with me tonight, for joining the stream, for saying what's up. Gonna be here all summer drafting best ball teams. So make sure you're sub. Hit the like. Turn on notifications if you want to catch me going live, because the schedule is all over the place. Trying to go live a few nights a week, usually pretty late when the house goes to sleep. I'm the last one up and can get these drafts in, so prime time. Late night drafts, the Fantasy Football Garage. You know where to find it. Wow, that's cool. Patrick Mahomes, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice. I can see how Laporta makes sense there. You don't get Kelsey, you got Laporta. So it worked out for him for the drafter in the 2nd spot. CeeDee Lamb, Deebo Samuel, they can definitely hold it down for your wide receivers. Building out a true zero running back team. Does he commit to the zero running back? He does. A kid named Jimmy. That's a pretty good looking squad so far through 7 picks. Exactly what I was saying, though. Christian Watson, Jameson Williams used to go at the back end of the 7th round. They now go at the front end of the 7th round. Deontay Johnson has moved up. The running backs, I assume, is the group who's falling in this situation. I mean, at pick 80, pick 80, and then pick 89. It's like both of those feel just fine for taking a running back in this range. Then I got pick 104. Sometimes things just line up for you. Right now, I'm only drafting players with week 14 or week 12 buys. It looks like. Wow. The team who took Jalen Hurts decided, you know what? I like Kyle Pitts enough to take him here, but not enough that I feel like I could pass up a Dallas Goedert at pick 79. Maybe that's the star method gone wrong. What do you think here? Aaron Jones, Evan Ingram. Feels weird taking Evan Ingram over Aaron Jones. But for this team, I think it honestly makes a lot more sense for me to go Evan Ingram here. He kind of rarely falls to pick 80. It's surprising that people consistently draft Evan Ingram in a really tight band above and below his ADP. I don't know. Let me know if you see Evan Ingram falling out of the 7th round. I hardly ever do. There's a little bit of that like psychology in it where it's you don't want to be the last one to take a tight end. Maybe you do, but it feels like people kind of take these middle tier tight ends pretty early. I think Evan Ingram is just fine. I've already got Brian Thomas. I'm building out some team level bets. Started off Breece Hall. A hero RB build is looking like what we're going down this path. Nico Collins and Steph Diggs just missed out on Tank Dell. Don't know if I would have taken him there. Go T. Higgins at 41 in the 4th round. I did land CJ Stroud, so I'm feeling pretty good. Brian Thomas was there. Looked for Rome Odunze. Was already off the board. So Brian Thomas it is. Miss out on the elite top tight ends. Evan Ingram falls to me at pick 80. So we've got another decision tree branch built out around pass catchers. We've got obviously the Texans stacked up. Now we've got the Jaguars. Got 2 of those pass catchers. Could play it through the Titans. Could play it through Trevor Lawrence. Been drafted a lot of Trevor Lawrence. And look at that. Brock Bowers goes pick 86. I honestly was going to consider taking Brock Bowers either at 89 or seeing what I could do and push it to 104. There's no QBs that make sense for me here. Running back's the way to go. I don't love any of these wideouts. Courtland Sutton's kind of nice, though. But I'm not in love with Courtland Sutton at this pick. I could go ahead. I'm not crazy about Ramondre. I think it works okay on this team. Do get a little bit of the AFC East divisional correlation with the Jets, the Patriots, but I just feel like taking a running back on a low-scoring offense, which potentially the Patriots could be again. Never know. Year to year, a lot of things change in the NFL. But I don't like making bets on running backs on bad teams that might not score a lot of points. The team just doesn't score a lot of points. They're in the bottom third of the league and scoring. Then the opportunity each week for goal line touches, all that. We'll see. We'll see if Drake May can turn it around quickly for the New England Patriots. 8th round pick, not really risking a whole lot. So Jonathan Brooks had gone off the board. He would have been a priority for me there at pick 89. Instead, I go Ramondre. Right after that, Tyler Lockett, Curtis Samuel, Zach Moss, Zamir White go off the board. So the team that took Patrick Mahomes, double stacked up with Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice, does decide to take Dak Prescott when they've already got Laporta and Jameson Williams. So I don't know if this is some sick, heavy QB capital build where you're also going to get Dak and Goff with Mahomes. But that's the way he's going. He went from being the 0 RB team here that I was highlighting to being kind of a team that's going off the rails a little bit. If you take Patrick Mahomes in the 4th round, you don't necessarily have to take Dak Prescott in the 8th round. It's a little bit of a over-allocation of QB capital, but it could work. Hey, it could still work out. Let's see if he can make it work here. Only 8 picks in. It's not over yet. It's been a weird room for running backs. I think they're generally falling just a little bit in this room. Some of them are. Some of them aren't. Actually, one thing I saw today on Twitter, Liam Murphy with beatbestball.com, he had posted a bunch of Twitter polls on the current, I think it was top 24, maybe top 20 or so running back landscape. And I thought there were some really interesting results there, just to get the market or public sentiment on some of these guys. The question was posed as, which running backs, or for each running back, do you think they're going to increase in value, stay the same, or decrease in value year over year for next season? So obviously guys like Derrick Henry, I'm pretty sure it said decrease in value. Then we had guys like Gibbs was increase. There's some interesting results. I have to go back through it and look at all the details, but I think it gave some insights to kind of how the market's feeling about some of these running backs and which ones might continue to rise up and which ones are going to maybe slide down boards, because the wide receivers are only getting more expensive. Look where Shaheed's been going lately. He's gone from closer to pick 110 plus, down kind of in this range in the 9th round, where he's going where a lot of these like nice running backs are going. RB2s, potential RB1s on some teams. Definitely would like a wide receiver. I could go with Mitchell or Palmer. I think there's a slim chance that Mitchell or Palmer comes back. I'm gonna take Mostert here. I thought about taking Pollard. I'm gonna see if I can push my luck with the Titans and maybe get Tajay Spears on this team over Tony Pollard. I think that might be the way I want to play it. And if both of them go, then that's all right. If one or the other goes, I'll just get whoever falls. I kind of do like the upside of Mostert. I just think he's pretty cheap, all things considered. Something I think about a lot, though, is realistically, where do you think Mostert's going to end up at the end of the season touchdown-wise? When you see pretty much every year a running back hit their career best in a season for touchdowns, and then the next year really disappoint. Case Exhibit A would be Jamal Williams from 2 seasons ago, throwing up 18 touchdowns when he was on the Lions, and then switching over to the Saints in this last season, scored 1 touchdown by the grace of Jameis Williams. So Jameson Williams hooked him up, got him that late score. Yo, what up, Dale? How you doing tonight? Hope you're having a great Monday. Thanks for saying what's up in the stream. Welcome. Kicking off with the Best Ball Mania 5, and they got a 1-3-4-1 build through 9 rounds. Pretty standard stuff. Looking to grab a wide receiver here. Josh Palmer was on my list of guys. Adonai Mitchell's still on my list of guys. I think, though, I kind of want to go Pollard here, even with Mitchell. I mean, not Pollard, Spears. Let me just double check some things. Either way, Spears or Mitchell, I'm happy. Spears gives me a really nice option to go T-Law later. Build out that Jaguars bet at my next pick. 128. Feels like it could happen. Always a risk. Let's do it. Let me go ahead and grab Spears. We've grabbed a lot of running backs with my last few picks. 3 straight running backs, rounds 8, 9, 10. It's as it's called at the Fantasy Sanctuary, as Tom and Tyler call it. We have got the running back glory hole going on here in this part of the draft. If you didn't already know, check it out on the Fantasy Sanctuary, the latest running back video they put up. Yeah, taking Spears ahead of Javonte Williams and Brian Robinson, I think it just fits this team better. I've got plenty of Brian Robinson, and I don't love the Javonte pick. I've clicked him enough recently that I feel like it's fine. Don't need him on this team. The flip side was, if I did take Tony Pollard over Mostert, then I could have gotten Mitchell here, probably would have gotten Mitchell with that pick. Or I could have reached for Trevor Lawrence. I'm a believer, though, that when I've already built out this bet on CJ Stroud, I'm going to still build around, building out some other stacks. I'm just going to keep pushing those pocket passing quarterbacks even further than I normally would if I didn't have a quarterback already. So like when I've got no quarterbacks, I'm probably taking Trevor Lawrence a little bit ahead of ADP there. When I've already got Stroud, I'm going to see if I can push him to my next pick. I think it's about a 50-50 shot. I was going to look up to see. Let's check out where the Christian Kirk drafter is. He's right here. He took Tua. It's pretty common for people to go Tua and then Trevor Lawrence, so wouldn't be surprised here at all. Kind of betting on it. The ETN drafter is probably, I'd say, not a huge risk. If he does pass here, though, on Trevor Lawrence. Oh. Spoke too soon. Now I'm afraid of the ETN drafter just because he's got Jaden Daniels late. Jared Goff goes. It's a good sign. People are passing on Trevor Lawrence. Maybe we'll get lucky. If not, if Mitchell's there, 4 picks away. Let me line up some other picks I like. I'm definitely kind of but definitely looking at wide receivers in this range. Schultz goes without saying, could be a fun pick. Yeah, called it. See, when you take Travis Etienne, even though you just took Jaden Daniels, you're still going to take Trevor Lawrence. That's just how it goes. Yeah, so luckily I got Stroud there. Not going to sweat it. Maybe this is a Will Levis team. Gabe Davis goes. Dale says, just finished a $4 draft. The Chihuahua, it's almost gone. Yeah, man, that thing is filling fast. I mean, hey, let's count them up. The teams are on the corner. There's one without a tight end. What are the odds he passes on Schultz twice? Not very good. He's almost certainly going to take Dalton Schultz with one of his next picks. I really want Mitchell, though, on this team. Love Adonai Mitchell. Big fan, big believer. And like I said, I'm mostly taking players with week 14 and week 12 buys because I just like making it that much harder on myself to land the plane in the later rounds. So let's see what we can do here. Dale's talking about the Chihuahua. It's almost gone. In fact, let me flip to the board real quick. Let's make this next pick and then I'll check on the Chihuahua status. It's real close to filling. At first, I was excited about the Chihuahua because of the final size and the potential payout in the finals, but I ended up not drafting any Chihuahuas. Just been way more focused on Best Ball Mania. I think I've done like 10 or more Best Ball Mania drafts since the Chihuahua opened, or about the same time, so it's been taking most of my concentration and free time that I got to draft. So but yeah, some of those Chihuahua teams look pretty sick. It's a time box tournament, so it can always end up a little bit different than those tournaments like Best Ball Mania that go the whole summer. What'd you end up stacking up in your Chihuahua, Dale? Did you get a good pick in the first half of the draft? Did you get your guys? So of course, Dalton Schultz was literally the pick after mine. Big whoop. Julian Polk goes. Kind of a fun pick here in that range. I'm going to pass on tight ends for a while now.
Soldier boy, tell.
Thanks for kicking it. Thanks for being here, chilling with me, drafting tonight. Best Ball Mania 5 in the Fantasy Football Garage. I'm Chris the Candyman. What's up? I was wondering what looks so weird about this part of the draft. It's Gus Edwards still being on the board at pick 137. Like I said, sometimes when you pick in the middle of the board, you can scoop up huge value. In the what is this? 12th round though, it's not a huge difference. I am sitting on a 1-5-5-1 build. Could be done at running back. Definitely could be done at running back. Pretty nice spread across my bye weeks. Dale says he's at an A.J. Brown start. A.J. Brown starts are fun. I think he's a little undervalued this season. 1-5-5-1. Not the best place to be in through 12 picks. Typically, I'd like to have that 6th receiver by now. Maybe even I already know who my second QB is going to be. Let's check out the Chihuahua. Let's see how full it is. The Pug but Superflex, 84% filled. Also another tournament I did not enter. Not really interested in Superflex this time of year right now. More focused on Best Ball Mania drafts. Oh, look at that. Chihuahua. 99% filled. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Get your last Chihuahua in, or forever hold your peace. I wasn't joking when I said this could be a Will Levis team. Now that I've got Gus, Edwards, and Ramondre, it could be a team to look at. Drake May. Of course, I've got Stroud on a week 14 bye, so gotta be a little bit careful there. But I passed on Cortland Sutton and Javonte Williams. Could have been a Bo Nix, build around T. Higgins, bring back type of team, but at the same time, week 14 bye, got to keep my eye on it. I'm not convinced yet that this might be an Aaron Rodgers team. I don't think I'm convinced yet. I'd have to get a lot more value to fall to me for these Jets players, and then build something out with kind of these late Bills. There's really no Bills left that I'd want. But Jax and Tampa Bay stacks. I like Jacksonville stacks. Tampa Bay stacks I can get behind as well. Big fan of Jalen McMillan. What up, Bindles? Hope you're having a great Monday night, my man. Thanks for stopping by, saying what's up. Just about to pick round 13 here. Do I take Luke Musgrave, the other elite tight end? I could wait, take Hunter Henry, build out something with Drake May later. Kind of tempted to go Musgrave here, just get it over with. Corley would be an interesting pick if I do end up going with Aaron Rodgers, which I normally don't do. So I think I'm going to check that out for now. Table the tight end 2. So my team could use another receiver, get some upside from another rookie pick in this range. I think it's a good call. It's not too much of a reach on Corley in round 13, but gives me potentially another way out with Aaron Rodgers. Since I did pick Brees with my first pick, I'm pretty sure I've only drafted Rodgers one time so far in Best Ball Mania. Drafted him 0 times last season. Just got lucky. Could be an interesting way to play it. Issue with Conklin though. Week 12 bye. I mean, I tight end, I'm not too worried about it, so that still could make sense. His ADP is normally 160. The Garrett Wilson drafter does not have a quarterback, so that's okay. He's going to take Aaron Rodgers here. I'll stick with Corley, just building out some team-level correlation, a team-level bet on the Jets. Don't need Aaron Rodgers to complete this one, though. I already said I wasn't going to have a good shot at getting any Bills skill position players kind of this late in the draft. So he goes Ray Davis. He's setting it up. Aaron Rodgers. Boom. The quest for QB2 continues. I've found that a lot of times when I take CJ Stroud, I'm struggling to get a good QB2 that either falls to me, and then you're not just waiting on these last round rookies who half of them have a week 14 bye. Can always do something with Daniel Jones late. I think that's my most obvious path out right now. Probably means I have to pass up Musgrave because he doesn't really do anything for my team. Hunter Henry's another interesting way to play this. I think I would go Hunter Henry over Musgrave here, potentially. If that's right, I could try to push Henry another round, pick 178 or 176. He's not going to be there. Not often. Not the place for a QB for me. Running backs, I'm good. Wideouts, kind of good there too. It's looking like a tight end spot. I'm going to go Hunter Henry, just the off chance that I do end up taking Drake May. I think it works better with this team. Luke Musgrave's fine. I draft a lot of Luke Musgrave. I just don't really have any bets on the Packers or the Vikings in this one. I don't feel like it's as good of a value this late in the draft just to take a player 5 to 10 picks past ADP. It really doesn't do a lot for me. All of these tight end 2s in this range are essentially replacement level, kind of the same kind of bet. Hunter Henry at least. Probably a little bit higher floor, but definitely not the ceiling that Musgrave gets access to playing with Jordan Love. It's kind of what I'm thinking. I think it's more likely that Jordan Love could pass for 30 plus touchdowns and Musgrave gets 5 or 6 of them than Drake May doing the same thing and Hunter Henry scoring that many times. At the same time, Hunter Henry has been an end zone threat in the past. So just building out another Patriots player, team level bet. Gus Edwards fell to me decent value, so yeah, I'm probably, unless something else makes sense at the end of the draft, probably done at running back here pretty early on. Now I can just take the wide receivers that make the most sense for whatever quarterback I'm going to line up here, or 2. I could still take Levis. He's gone. This room has been really interesting about the QB position. Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins' team takes Will Levis. That makes sense to me. If Will Levis is going to be any good at all, which starting to get more skeptical that he will be good. If he's going to be good, though, it's going to have to go through DeAndre Hopkins, no doubt. He's the alpha wide receiver on that team. And Will Levis showed it too. I mean, that first game they had with Will Levis, I think he might not have even started the game, but the first game he played where he really went off through 4 passing touchdowns, didn't have a whole lot of yardage, pretty average passing yardage, and then he had really bad passing yardage per game the rest of the season. So Will Levis, we'll see. A lot to be determined. Also didn't throw a lot of touchdowns after he threw 4 touchdowns in his kind of debut game. Antonio Gibson's still there. Not the pick for me, though, on this team. Got 4 picks left, 176 and then 185. I'm going to wait on QB again. Feels like a spot to take a wide receiver. I'm not crazy about Javon Baker. I like Jalen McMillan more. I'm just going to go with Baker. Could be done at tight end. Could be done at running back. I need a QB. At least one QB. And I've got 2 picks left to play with. Probably one of them is wide receiver, gets me to 8. And then maybe running back again, see if something makes sense. Let's look at the team we got so far. 1572 build through 15 rounds. Stroud double stacked with Nico and Diggs. Started off with Breece Hall. Got T. Higgins, Brian Thomas. Started to build out that stack around the Jaguars. Took Evan Ingram at a little bit of a value. Didn't get T-Law, so now we're making up for it later in the draft. Going to go with a later QB2. I do have Ramondre. Gus Edwards. Took Javon Baker. Didn't really want to take Javon Baker, though. 4 out of my 7 wide receivers have a Week 14 bye. Something else to keep in mind. So after pick 185, I'm not going to pick again until 200 and then 209. The move here is to go with May 1st. Yeah. I could lock down the Jets backfield, but if I do, I kind of want Allen to be like one of my last picks. Michael Wilson's falling just a bit. Devontae Walker's still there. Another guy I would really consider taking late pick. So this one's got to be Drake May. I love taking Tez Walker, Jalen McMillan in this range. They just don't fit my team. I've already got 4 rookie pass catchers. And I do still need a Raven on the bring back, so fingers crossed Tez Walker makes it back to pick 200. Earlier, I was going to check on Zay Likely, but Zay goes pick 174. Might have been a fun option there at 176. I think Javon Baker's fine. I don't know, though. The quarterback the wide receiver room for the Patriots, it's such a mess, such a toss-up. I feel like taking a stab at a rookie's fine for upside, but at the same time, look how many Patriots are still available too. I could have gotten one cheaper. Kendrick Bourne coming back from the ACL, probably not the best pick. Osborne, I mean, he's been a veteran best ball receiver his whole career. Had some big games for the Vikings. Really would help you out in best ball. Hard to know when to start him in season long in redraft, but. And then besides him, Demario Douglas, of course. I've been hearing hype around camp, around practice for Kayshon Boutte. Have y'all been hearing that? I don't know. And then there's also whispers that Tyquan Thornton could be the odd man out, get cut, not Boutte. I'd believe it. Let me check on these Ravens. Yeah. Getting desperate. Am I crazy for liking Justice Hill more than Rasheen Ali? I might like Justin Hill as much as Keaton Mitchell this season, just predicated on the fact that Keaton Mitchell might miss some time. Justice Hill is kind of, he's in with the program. He knows the playbook, even though the playbook has been changing, but he's been there for a while now. Yeah, Meatwad says he heard that. He's referring to the Kayshon Boutte hype and the Tyquan Thornton bud that's out there that he might get cut. What if, Meatwad says, what if Kayshon Boutte is this year's Puka Nacua? 100%. Write that one down in stone. We just don't know. 100% Meatwad. Hey, I'm here for it. I've not been drafting any Kayshon Boutte, but I don't think anyone else has either, given the fact that he doesn't have an ADP. So I feel good about that. It's fine. I did, what was it, last night, the night before? I did scroll through all my Dynasty teams looking to see if anyone had dropped Boutte since his rookie season last year, and the answer was no. So I didn't get to pick him up for fun. Okay, Devontae Walker is there. Fingers crossed. Only a few more picks to go. We grabbed Devontae Walker. Pretty much screwed for week 14 at wide receiver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 8. Gives me 3 startable positions. Honestly, not good. So I might have to take. I might have to take Keaton Mitchell. Pass on to Devontae Walker. No, that doesn't work either. Take another QB.
I got lots of love for my crew that is. You know.
Whoops. Second time I've spilt my water this week. What's going on?
Soldier boy, tell.
Luckily the glass didn't break. Didn't spill too much either. I'll get that in a second. Let me scroll down a bit. Had to take Daniel Jones. Couldn't risk it. Couldn't risk him getting snatched up and then me missing out. Having to go with an unstacked quarterback that really wouldn't make sense. I've got Adonai Mitchell, so I've got to bring back the Colts play the New York Giants week 17. Now I just need one of Jalen Hyatt, Darius Slayton to fall to me. Secure my wide receiver 8. give me a little bit better of a mix. You know, I didn't end up getting any Ravens on this squad. Still could take Devontae Walker. Really, really tempted. Who's the better pick? Jalen Hyatt, former college Biletnikoff winner. Darius Slayton. Pretty much just a guy. Well, the decision was made for me. Hyatt's off the board. Then goes Chase Claypool, everybody's favorite high T wide receiver this year. I don't know if high T is the right way to phrase it, but everyone's favorite. Pick 16, or round 16, round 17 even, wide receiver this year. I mean, to see Chase Claypool make it to round 18, what kind of draft room is this? Bunch of casuals don't know how good Chase Claypool is. I'm here for it though. I think he's exciting. Come on, don't time out and take him. Yeah, I thought I was going to time out and take Slayton. This is the huge dilemma I have. In the draft rooms where I want McMillan or Tez Walker, they always get taken before my last pick or my second to last pick. In the room where I literally can't afford to take one of them, they're both there. Regrets. Mistakes were made. I'm going to go Slayton. Cool. Let's see how this draft ends up. Let me go grab a towel to mop up this water and get a refill. And then I think I'm going to fire off another draft, so stick around. Waiting on 6 more people for a Best Ball Mania 5 draft. Let's check out the one I just finished, my 48th Best Ball Mania. Heck yeah, heck yeah. Whew, kind of a rough one. You know I'm going to go hard on the Houston Texans when I'm repping the official Houston Texans 2023 draft. New era hat. So you already know. Same hat CJ Stroud, Offensive Rookie of the Year, wore when he got drafted. Same hat Defensive Rookie of the Year Will Anderson wore when he got drafted. So just out here flexing. Meatwad says we just don't know. It's the highest T wide receiver pick on the board. Chase Claypool, y'all. Shout out to Hit Him With the Gritty. Big fan of his Twitter account. Always throwing him some likes. Just fun stuff. I love the difference of opinion out in the best ball streets. It's a really fun community. And, a lot of the time we have similar player takes, and then a lot of the time we have differing player takes. And that's what I think is one of the more interesting things about best ball is you get to see the results play out. Dynasty, honestly, you don't get to see the results play out. Each of those is its own little universe. It's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons. I love Dynasty, got some Dynasty leagues, but let's be real. If you want to test your skills, at least especially in drafting, But in fantasy football, I think best ball tournaments, large field tournaments, the only way to do it. This squad is a 3-5-8-2 build around C.J. Stroud, Drake May, Daniel Jones with some late quarterback picks, Breece Hall, Ramondre Stevenson, Raheem Mostert, Tyjae Spears, Gus Edwards. Kind of a hero build. Stopped with 5 running backs, stopped early after getting Gus Edwards at a nice value. Got double stacked with Collins and Diggs. Didn't get any Ravens bringbacks, but that's the way the cookie crumbles this time. I feel like Jim Carrey saying that. What's that movie called? Oh, jeez. Oh, that's Evan Almighty. Yeah. Oh, the other draft has started. Whoops. And I'm number 3. We'll come back. After I make this pick, I'll go back to that one. Dongatelli. Notorious Parlay. Myself, Candyman, Brinson, Grenier. Dale's in here. Oh, what up, Dale? Made it in the draft, my man. Number 6 spot. Snuck right in. He took the cue that we were starting another one. Jumped right in. Love to see it. Thanks for joining and drafting with me tonight. Wadizi, Corlandino, SMG. Sorry, I thought I drafted Tyreek Hill already. Tyreek Hill, 3rd pick overall. Also got UMatt, Demon Genie, and Baron Burr. B. Aaron Burr. We'll check back in to see what Dale does at the 6th pick. Finishing the team review. Got T. Higgins, Brian Thomas, Adonai Mitchell, Malachi Corley, Javon Baker. Got 4 bets on wide receivers that are rookies, going for that high upside. Darius Slayton's the way I rounded it out for my stack on the Giants. Get the Adonai Mitchell bring back. Indianapolis Colts play the Giants week 17. Evan Ingram, Hunter Henry are my tight ends. So I get stacked Hunter Henry and at least team stacked Ramondre with Drake May. And my bring back, of course, Gus Edwards. So that one works out. Check the box. The Daniel Jones one worked out just fine. Check the box. And then I've got, if I could only have found a way to get a Raven on this team, would have felt a little bit better. Or even if I would have got Trevor Lawrence to fall, of course, and I would have ended with 2 quarterbacks, I would have had McMillan and Tez Walker on the back end of this draft instead of Javon Baker and Darius Slayton. That's the way it goes, though. You live and you learn. They're not always going to end up exactly as you plan or as you want them to, but just try to make the best decisions with each pick and then let the value fall. Dale takes Bijan at 6. It's a high T play. I like it. I like it. It was definitely a full water that I spilled. I forgot that I had this lemonade that I've been drinking, so so my socks are wet. It's a great feeling. But hey, I'm in the 3 spot this draft, and this is something I can work with. In the 2nd round, after taking Tyreek Hill, Waddle's already gone, pick 19 to Dale's team. Nico Collins goes to the Jet team. Starting with Jet and then Nico is real fun. I think it's a really solid, strong 2 wide receiver start. Could say the same thing about Amon-Ra St. Brown and Brandon Ayuk. You know, where do you think Brandon Ayuk's going to play next year? Cowboys would be interesting. The Commanders would be really interesting. On the clock. And let's see. Neighbors, Achane, Evans, Diggs, Smith. I'm going to go Neighbors. I've been picking Neighbors over Evans in this spot. Like I said, Neighbors sometimes makes it to the 3rd round. I'll take him in the 2nd round. Let's see if Devonta Smith doesn't go to the drafter in the 101 who just took Saquon. So then logically, yeah, he takes Devonta Smith. I was going to say if he didn't go to that drafter, he would go most likely to the drafter in the 2 spot who takes CeeDee Lamb. Almost spilled the water again. I got to move this thing. Okay, what do y'all think here? Tyreek Hill, Malik Neighbors. I'm going Achane. It's a fun start. Playing with the Miami Dolphins. Making a big bet there. And then Malik Neighbors. So we'll see how the QBs fall. You know, I hate to reach for Anthony Richardson in the 5th round, but he could be a really nice way to play this. There's not a lot of good. It's not good chance that Pittman's going to be there for my next pick at 46. So, if anything, Pittman's probably going to go in this round. Which is still kind of a bummer. I would expect Pittman to fall a little bit. Maybe he lines up with Anthony Richardson better in some ways if he does fall in ADP, but kind of a tough to get them both. I've seen some AR-15 Michael Pittman teams. They look pretty sick. Usually they're built out of the back end of the draft, and you see Anthony Richardson maybe making it back to like around pick 60 plus or minus. Good stuff. Cooper Kupp slides to the middle of the 3rd round where he had been going, but sometimes you see him going higher. Laporta goes pretty early here. Travis Kelce off the board. I was looking at my exposures, at least like yesterday or 2 days ago even. I was still at 12% Travis Kelce, which I thought was a little bit surprising to me, but I don't mind going Kelce, especially when I've already got 3 wideouts and I can get Kelce in the 4th round. I'm here for it. B. Aaron Burr. He's confusing me with... I've seen this. I saw this earlier today on someone's stream. I forget whose it was. But I was watching a stream earlier today, and Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts went at the 3-4 turn in that draft too. Really bizarre start. Like I said, Michael Pittman goes the 2nd pick in the 4th round. Not very common that he slides to the end of the 4th. Mark Andrews goes pick 41. He's been going earlier and earlier. I'm next up. Most recent picks were Christian Kirk, Amari Cooper, George Pickens, all players I would have been targeting with my 46th pick. Travis Etienne goes. Strong pick in the 4th round. I'm thinking about taking Pacheco here even. If not, Terry is a good pick. I could go McBride, of course. I'm kind of feeling the Pacheco pick. Yeah. Last second I almost switched it. But no, I'm kind of committing to getting a higher Isaiah Pacheco exposure. I think he's a great pick. As soon as Etienne's gone, and even in some drafts, if it made more sense taking either or. mean, a Kansas City Chiefs running back going in the 4th round with very little competition behind him. I think it's a strong pick. We'll see, too, if maybe if Mahomes falls to pick 51, which he commonly does. You know, Lamar Jackson's still there. Dalton Kincaid, Mahomes, Worthy. A bunch of ways I can play this. Could go ahead and take Anthony Richardson. Not the craziest thing. I'm feeling like I'm getting a little boxed out at wide receiver, though. If I do end up taking Lamar or Mahomes or even Anthony Richardson with my next pick. Last draft, I thought I would get some good receiver value to fall and towards the end of my 6th round pick, and wide receivers were going a bit early there. Damn. When Xavier Worthy's your wide receiver 3, doesn't feel great, feels okay. Would rather him be my wide receiver 4. Taking him ahead of Mahomes. I don't know. Let me just go Mahomes here. I'll figure it out at wide receiver. But making a big bet here on the Dolphins and the Chiefs, it just kind of feels right. Typically don't go with only 2 wideouts through 5 rounds. So we're going to have to get lucky with these next 2 picks, see if some
Soldier boy, tell.
see if some players fall to me, some wideouts. Obviously, a Rashee Rice would be a nice pickup. Although I had a lot of Travis Kelce, I didn't have a ton of Patrick Mahomes. Could get completely screwed here if Rice somehow is gone before my next pick. Xavier Worthy's obviously going to go. Not expecting him to be there. Didn't have a shot to get Kelce. The elite tight end tier is kind of running out. I've got some backup plans. If, for instance, Pitts or George Kittle's not there on the next pick, I honestly don't think I can afford to take an elite tight end at pick 70, even if one of them was there, just because of how far behind I'm quickly becoming at wide receiver. You see teams, the team in the 5 spot started with 5 wide receivers even. Dale in the 6th spot, he's got 4. 2 spots got 4. 10 spots got 4 wide receivers. Nice. Okay, the team that drafted Kelce and Pittman does land Anthony Richardson end of the 5th round. Pretty good squad. Only has 2 receivers through his first 5 picks. I mean, I don't know what's going on in the 12th spot. You tell me. David Montgomery paired up with Jahmyr Gibbs, and not only that, but taking David Montgomery well ahead of ADP, a whole 12, 15 picks early. Stroud goes to the team that really pushed him. Took him in the 6th round, had Joe Mixon and Tank Dell on the squad, but was able to kind of gatekeep on CJ Stroud, push him around the corner. Instead of taking him pick 58, he knew there was a good chance the draft in the 11th spot wasn't going to take an uncorrelated Stroud. The draft in the 12th spot already had 2 elite QBs. There goes George Kittle, there goes Pitts. Actually kind of makes me feel better. Odunze goes, Xavier Worthy goes. Hardly, just barely missed out on them. A little bit of pain there. Ladd, DeAndre, Brian, Rashee. not going to play around with this pick. There's no point in... I don't really see any way that I wouldn't take Rashee Rice here with Dong Donatelli also needing wide receivers. Let's flip back over there to the board. So I take Rashee Rice at pick 70. I'm fine with it. ADP is just a number. Rashee Rice is a superstar wide receiver with some questionable decision making, but this is fantasy football, and even if he misses a few games, I think he pays off in the 6th round. So I'm kind of treating it like he doesn't miss any games. Got a lot of Rashee Rice exposure. I was drafting him a ton all summer. 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round. Obviously, he was going in the 2nd and 3rd round before the news broke. 4th round to 6th round to 7th round. With all of what's come with his situation. But no news is good news in his case. So it's continued to the news cycle's kind of petered out. Hopefully good news only for Rashee Rice here on out. And just like that, all the players I had queued otherwise were taken. So I still feel good about taking Rashee Rice there. Not crazy about Keon Coleman. Trying to think about how he fits in with this team. Could go JSN. Christian Watson. I'm just going to go with Coleman. I don't have a strong take for Coleman versus JSN versus Christian Watson here. Part of me wanted to go Christian Watson, actually. I think Coleman's got a higher degree of uncertainty with his outcome of can he even make it in the NFL? But he was the only receiver on the board. I mean, not the only. It's pretty much between him and Watson, because JSN definitely not going to be the alpha wide receiver 1 over DK Metcalf, at least this season. That'd be a really rare outcome, I think. Maybe DK gets hurt, JSN steps into the role, becomes the number 1 go-to guy. Even still, I kind of like the Buffalo Bills passing offense just a little bit more potential to score touchdowns. So Keon Coleman's that guy on this team tonight. I think he fits all right with this squad. Through my first 7 picks, I went Tyreek Hill, Malik Neighbors, Devon Achane. Follow that up with Isaiah Pacheco and Patrick Mahomes. Something I've kind of been wanting to do for a while now. I've been thinking about it, been talking more about Isaiah Pacheco and where he might go. I think he's a really good pick in that 5th round. That 4th round. I think he's a really good pick in the 4th round. And he's been kind of going in the 5th round even. But here, you got to take him a bit early if you want to pair him up with Mahomes. I don't think I've seen Mahomes fall to 70 or really get that close to it. It doesn't happen often enough. You couldn't really plan on it. So either going Hollywood Brown or Pacheco. I like Pacheco more. I think Pacheco has a more secure role in that offense than Hollywood Brown and is a better player. But then actually the question to me is, do you take Xavier Worthy? There was a very slim chance he comes all the way back around to pick 70 and we get him there instead of taking Rashee Rice. But at the end of the day, you just want to have at least a pass catcher with Mahomes. So Rashee Rice is that guy on this team. I could see it happening. The Coleman pick, I'm not sure about. But the more I think about it, who else would I take there? And just like that, spoiler alert, the Boston Celtics are the 2024 World Champions. Meh. I'm not surprised they did it. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. It's gonna happen eventually. It felt like it was gonna happen. They've been that win has been cooking up for a while. Slightly bummed that Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris went. Would have been fun to have a Steelers bring back in this 8th round pick that could actually fit my team well. I feel like I don't have to go running back here. Brock Bowers is who I'm going to take. Let me just make sure there's no other picks that I really want here as well. And of course, I'm doing that thing where I'm building out around 2 teams that have the exact same bye week. So this is always something fun to figure out later. If I do end up taking Tua at some point, got the bye week 6 that lines up with the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. So I have to sort that through when the time comes. Excited to get Brock Bowers here though. And I think I've seen it played before. I think I've seen teams that had Mahomes and Tua, and I want to say instead of Neighbors, they were able to get Devontae Adams, maybe even Bowers, but at least Devontae Adams, and then used, I think it was Minshew with the last 18th round pick to plug in that QB3 spot, which is kind of an interesting move. Could be hard to pull off. Anytime you're taking a QB in the last round, there's a little bit of a risk associated with if you get sniped and there's no other options that late in the draft. I think James Conner's going to get drafted here. Otherwise, I will take him. Njoku goes. This is like the dead zone for wide receivers. No one I'm crazy about here that I really need on this squad. I think I do go James Conner over Mostert. No, I'm going to go Mostert. Let's go ham on the Dolphins. Where's the Waddle drafter? Oh, it's Dale. We'll see what happens. Could also play it to the Browns. Pick 118 is a pretty good spot. Either that or pick 118 or pick 123 is a pretty good spot to go with Jerry Jeudy. Start to get in that territory for Jerome Ford, who I don't have a whole lot of. And then the 148 range, 142 to 147 range could also land a Nick Chubb later on. Might be a way to play this. Pressure's off though. I've already got Patrick Mahomes, and the more I think about it, I probably don't want Tua on this team. So if he's not there, it's not the end of the world. I can play it without Tua, just betting on all the skill position players on the Dolphins, and then I don't have to worry about the Week 6 bye with Patrick Mahomes. So if I look, I could still build out something, of course, with Danny Dimes, New York Giants a bit later on. Maybe this is that rare Aaron Rodgers team that I never draft. Build out something around Keon Coleman, take some Jets later on, Braylon Allen, Malachi Corley. Mike Williams is sometimes there around pick 118. Not a guy I take a lot of, but I've got some. I know some bros who are pretty in on Mike Williams, even coming off age 27 ACL tear, changing teams. A lot of headwinds, if you ask me, but I was traditionally a huge fan of Big Mike Williams, drafting him all over the place. One of my highest exposed players last season, and that's maybe why I'm a little bit burned, but it's injury, and so you really can't plan for that. And at the end of the day, the only reason I'm not taking him right now is, like I said, just a little concerned he doesn't have a right quick bounce back season on a new team, new situation, new quarterback, coming off the injury. Just a lot of things don't line up. But I still like Mike Williams. It's weird that the Chargers didn't keep him or Keenan Allen. They kind of cleaned house, right? You think you want to keep some consistency around your young rising star quarterback, Justin Herbert. Which I guess that is Josh Palmer these days, so go figure. I mean, Austin Eckler gone too. LA Chargers really cleaned house. New staff, new coach. One pick away, Mike Williams gone. Take a wide out here. I think I've got this one figured out. Might have just outsmarted myself. But I took Hill, I took Achane, I also took Mostert. Off the top of my head, I couldn't imagine there's any players on teams 1 and 2, both guys that are badged up. Team 2 has Kyler and Dak. Team 1 has Lamar. You know, are these going to be the guys that snipe me on Tua Tagovailoa before my next pick? Probably not. But could they snipe me on Jerry Jeudy? You know it. Just like that, the bet pays off. Not a crazy thing to push Tua around the corner there. He's still right at ADP where I'm taking him. The question is, do I take him here? I think yes. Passing up a little bit of RB value, a little bit of upside with the Adonai Mitchell pick, who I take a ton of. Still a huge fan. Think he's undervalued. Definitely gives me some correlation against my Malik Neighbors pick. So Adonai Mitchell could have been a good pick there for sure. Ended up going with Tua because I wanted to make life really hard on myself by stacking up 2 quarterbacks and 3 running backs with the exact same bye week. How are we going to get out of this one? Let's find out. So around taking Tua, Mike Williams went. I take Jerry Jeudy. Then goes Gus Edwards, Jacoby Myers, and Josh Downs at the turn. Chase Brown, pick 122. I take Tua 123. See, drafter in the 4. In the 4 spot, takes Dontavian Wicks. I mean, this guy Brinson, he must know ball. Takes Wicks at 124. Corum goes 125. Dale grabs Zeke to pair with James Conner and Caleb Williams, his latest picks. He also got Tyler Lockett in round 8. So he's got a Dunze. No, he got Keenan Allen. That's who it was. Keenan Allen, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan. Tyler Lockett, Keenan Allen, Caleb Williams. It's nice. He's probably going to be looking towards a Kirk Cousins later on. It's a nice build he's got going.
Soldier boy, tell.
So Mitchell goes pick 131. That's crazy. The fact that Mitchell's been falling to 131 blows my mind. I mean, no one's steaming him up, but I think he's a guy with a lot of skill, a lot of talent, a lot of potential. Honestly, easily should be going just after or just before Keon Coleman. I think Mitchell realistically could be priced anywhere in round 7. Maybe it's situation on the Colts, situation, that he looks like he's going to be the wide receiver 3 there on an offense that's looking to run the ball a lot, has a quarterback who likes to tuck the ball and run it. Or they got a quarterback with a hell of an arm, throws a hell of a deep ball, can scramble, keep the play alive, extend, look downfield, find the super tall, super fast, jump super high, Adonai Mitchell in the end zone for 6. You tell me. But definitely something I'm trying to build out a little bit more. AR-15, Adonai Mitchell. Really fun if you can match up with Malik Neighbors, Devin Singletary too. Nice. Dale commits to Kirk Cousins. Pick 139. Herbert goes 140. Keeps falling. Is that the Lad McConkey team? No, it's the Romadunze DJ Moore team. Oh, that's the team that went 6 straight wideouts. They've now gone 6 straight running backs and quarterbacks. I'm on the clock. Could go Kendre Miller. Jillian Polk's a fun one. I'm going to go Kendre Miller there. I haven't been getting enough Kendre lately. I think he's going in a reasonable spot for a year 2 breakout. Going into year 1, a little bit injured, still a young prospect. He was a junior when he came out of TCU. Injured, didn't get to play at the national championship game. TCU got smoked by Georgia. Wouldn't be surprised if Polk goes before my next pick, but just could be a fun upside rookie pick. Not that I need another rookie this early on. I've already got 3 rookie pass catchers in my first 12 rounds. Who else would I build this out around? The one thing I've missed on so far is those Steelers. Oh, Jalen Wright goes. Imagine that. I take all 3 Miami running backs. That's got to be a bad choice. I've got 2 of them. 2 that I feel good about. Have to reach on Roman Wilson here. Prefer Jalen Polk. I'm cool with it. Let's go Polk. Yeah, Miwad says, team's going to be so refreshed after week 6. For sure. No doubt about it. Usually it's week 14 that I'm complaining about. Sometimes week 12. This is the rare case where I am fighting a week 6 bye, which is kind of early in the season too. So I can't wait too long and take a rookie QB who might not even be starting by week 6, a la Drake May, who I just lined up with the Jillian Polk pick. Or even McCarthy. But I don't really have any connection to McCarthy on this squad, and I'm actually pretty sure he has that bye week as well. By week 6. I could take Bo Nix on this squad. Just got to build that out. These next couple picks, that might be the way to play it. Could also go really cheap with a Derek Carr pick. Might be a solid way to play this. Derek Carr, unless you're an ETR subscriber, he usually makes it to the really late rounds of the draft. Big time faller, pocket passing quarterback. People have a little bit of faith in. Got to monitor where that Olave drafter is. But now that Juwan Johnson's out of the game and Taysom Hill's classified as a tight, no longer classified as a tight end, he's now classified as a quarterback. There's very limited options for pass catchers with the Saints, and so where last year you kind of see the pass catchers dictating where Derek Carr was going. This year he just kind of falls. Yeah, Meatwad says he thinks Bo Nix is viable. I think so too. I think he's a locked-in starter for week 1. And by that, that means also week 6. I do need to grab some running backs, at least 1 or 2 more. Probably soon. I'm feeling decent at wide receiver. A ton of upside with some guys who could break out and be the wide receiver 1 on their team. Keon Coleman, Jillian Polk, maybe Rashee Rice is that guy, even overtakes a little bit of Travis Kelce's role. More and more, Malik Neighbors is probably that guy. So the other option I have, and I could go really late on Carr or Nix if I continue to build out players around them, which I really don't have any so far except for with Carr. I've got Miller and Bowers, which is kind of nice for a bring back. Las Vegas Raiders playing the New Orleans Saints in week 17. So that's one way to go. I mean, I could go Minshew, I could go Carr, I could go Daniel Jones late. I probably don't want to go Watson unless he really falls far. Bo Nix, I'm starting to think less and less likely just because of the fact I haven't taken any Broncos to this point, and I also haven't taken any Bengals to this point. So there's just a lot of uncertainty with the pass catchers in Denver as well. Who's the number 2? Is it Mims? Probably. Maybe. Is it Reynolds? Who's the tight end? No one knows. I've asked a lot of Broncos fans. Seems like it is a mystery. Luke Musgrave's still there. He's a little bit interesting to me, kind of intriguing. Could be a good pick. By week 10, doesn't line up great with Bowers, so let's just pass on that for now. Deshaun Watson's there. I don't think I want Watson. Bucky Irving is an interesting pick, right about ADP, could work out. Let me think more about that. I'm going to get off Wandale a little bit. I probably have too much Wandale. Let's go either Bucky or Bucky. Bucky Irving. Gotta let the dog in. She's at the door. Usually when I've been streaming, I use my Logitech camera, but for some reason, it's not really been working compatibility-wise with my new MacBook, so I ditched it. I'm just using my MacBook camera. Otherwise, I was going to hook up the Logitech camera, and then when the dog goes in and out of the room, I can flip the camera around and point it at her. But she is lucky that my Logitech camera is on the fritz and it's not working. I thought about Braylon Allen there. Take a value pick with Malachi Corley. Get a slight correlation with Keon Coleman. Of course, I'm going hard on the rookies, at least the rookie pass catchers. I felt good with where I'm at running back right now, that I didn't have to reach for Braylon Allen. Let me check on these Browns. Kind of lost track of the Browns players after I took Judy because I feel like I'm good. Yeah, that's what I expected. Foreman late, Moore late. Steelers. I did notice that a while ago Roman Wilson went. So I don't think I'll be taking any Steelers on this team, unfortunately, unless I go Fields late, which is a huge risk because by kind of the current consensus, Russell Wilson's going to start. And he's probably going to start at least to week 6. The Steelers don't have a bye until week 9. So if Watson is there at pick 190, I think I almost have to take him. Just makes too much sense. And then, okay, he's gone. It's fine. I was gonna say, and then it might give me a little bit more leeway. Later in the draft. Bowers has that week 10 bye. People are scared off Juwan Johnson, and he might not even be ready to play this season. I kind of like that risk. I kind of hate that risk at the same time. Bowers might be able to hold it down by himself, so if he's truly elite, maybe I just get an out there that Bowers can hold it down. If Juwan Johnson just completely misses and never plays this season, Bowers could still be the guy I need. Give me enough points in the tight end spot to carry me through. I think it's possible, so I could risk it a little bit there and then go back down this path with Derek Carr. But I'm going to look at the board. It's been a long time since I pulled away from the board. 3 picks left. Pick 190, pick 195, pick 214. I'm going to take a quarterback with one of these next 2 picks, because I'm not going to risk it and wait until 214. But if I do, if I am lying right now and I do risk it, it's because I'm going to come back with probably Gardner Minshew. Doesn't feel great, so let's not do that. Juwan Johnson's there. If I take Carr, I'm committing to him. Definitely need a pass catcher on the Saints. I think this is fine. I'm not crazy about it. Both of the drafters have 2 tight ends already. Not a huge threat to miss out on Juwan Johnson. Probably wouldn't want to push Johnson to the last round. Anytime you're getting that either QB2 or tight end 2 late in a draft, you don't really want to push them to your last pick. You're risking a lot on the line to line that thing up to land that plane the right way. Versus I can take any running back or wide receiver with my last pick, give myself optionality there. So that's what I'm gonna do here. Let's take Juwan Johnson. Probably the last time I take him. It just makes sense on this squad with this team. You know, maybe I do wait for Daniel Jones, and he would have been a better pick. Let's see, did Daniel Jones get drafted? No. Yep, maybe I do go Daniel Jones there. Because I do have Malik Neighbors. Yeah, Meatwad was saying the early bye week of Jones. Backstacking the option. Yeah. I know what you mean. Not really any Colts left that I like. Jelani Woods was one I could think of to go at tight end. He's still there, I'm pretty sure. He goes late. I think he's viable. Yeah, Woods is still there. I don't know. I just, for all of a sudden, I kind of talked myself into Derek Carr working for this team. Kendre Miller, Juwan Johnson, Brock Bowers bringing back. I kind of would like another wide receiver here. I could be done with 7. Could definitely be a team where I want 6 running backs just because of that bye week coverage, but at the end of the day, maybe I don't, because of how strong I expect Achane and Pacheco to be, and then I'm kind of betting on that same tandem 1-2 punch, Thunder and Lightning, Etienne Mostert from last season happening again. And if that happens, then I'm, even with a down week in week 6, I'm going to be doing just fine. See, it kind of sucks because Justin Fields would have been a fun bring back for all my bet on the Chiefs. I didn't end up getting any Steelers. And then at the same time, Daniel Jones could have been nice to stack up with Malik Neighbors. I just didn't think about it too much. Would have gone Daniel Jones and then Jelani Woods instead of Carr, Juwan Johnson. It is good to get me off of Daniel Jones just a little bit, though. I think I draft too much Daniel Jones. I've got a lot of Daniel Jones exposure. And if he's any risk of not starting later in the season, getting benched, or just playing really bad, like he has been lately, then it's good that I can kind of lower my exposure to him. Even on a team like this where he probably could make sense with Malik Neighbors. All right. Foreman might have been the last running back I was really interested in taking there. So probably going to go wide out. Just call it a day at running back. 3582, 3672. Wide receivers. Let's think about Rashee Rice being out for 5 weeks on a bye in week 6. Potentially, I'm starting 6 wideouts for the first almost half of the season. Doesn't sound ideal to me. So in that case, I'm gonna go wide out here.
Soldier boy, tell.
Better to have an extra wide out for the entire time that Rashee Rice is suspended than having a running back who can fill in for 1 week and potentially sucks at this point, this range in the draft. Keith Mitchell's injured. No tight ends I want necessarily right now. Minshew would have been there. Hyde or more. Let's go with more just because we got a huge bet on the Browns. Hyatt could have been fun. I drafted a fair amount of Hyatt, and then it would have given us a little bit more of a balanced approach. Taking a Giant there as a bring back for my Malik Neighbors. Let's look at the squad. We'll do a little team review, and then I'm also going to team review Dale's team, who drafted with us in this one, DWB 18568. Got his badge, his headband, total bro. Dale says, I want a Kincaid. That guy behind you did the double tight end. Yeah, I saw that, right? Let's go over there. Not only did the guy in the 12th spot do double elite quarterback to start, and then didn't take another wide receiver until Curtis Samuel and Khalil Shakir, which, hey, if that works out for you, that's very interesting approach. But I mean, he finished it out with 4 pass catchers, 4 wideouts on the Patriots. I'm glad I didn't need a Patriot in this one. Potentially that's why Drake May went undrafted, because that guy took all of the New England pass catchers. Kind of wild. I don't know where Polk went. Yeah, I do. I took Polk. Got him. I was thinking back to the last draft where I missed out on Polk. Polk went like 130 something last draft. This time he goes 142. I snatch him up. Yeah, and then so we were back over here because Dale was saying how the guy who took Kincaid had Laporta already. It's an interesting build. He gets Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase. So if Jamar Chase is the wideout you need in Week 17 and you need him stacked with Joe Burrow, we're all going to be in trouble because that's a really common combo, Chase and Joe Burrow, and then building it out in unique ways around that is going to be in that kind of universe, that situation, the way that plays out just depends on how you build out the rest of your team. You can get lucky. So enough said about that. Let's jump into the team review. My team's a 3-5-8-2, kind of unorthodox because I took Patty Mahomes, the 3-time Super Bowl champion quarterback, with Tua. Same bye week necessitates me taking another QB. Hindsight 2020, maybe I take Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones there. My issue is I've got a lot of Daniel Jones exposure, and so I kind of want to work that down. Pivoted, went Derek Carr because he made a little bit of sense on this team, considering I did get Kendre Miller, so I'm making a team bet that the Saints are good. I could snag Juwan Johnson, who's got a messed up foot. Hope he comes back for us. But if not, I still got Brock Bowers as a bring back and in Week 17, and holding down my tight end spot. If Juwan Johnson just doesn't come back at all, I think that could still work out just fine. If anything, I get a quarterback to fill in for Week 6 with the potential that he does something interesting for me in Week 17 through either Kendre or Juwan Johnson. That's fine. I can work with that. Running back room, Achane, Pacheco, Mostert. Also very unorthodox. My top 3 running backs have the exact same bye week. So Week 6, I'm going to be dipping in points. It's going to be a strange week. I've got 1 quarterback to pull from, 2 running backs to pull from. So I've got 3 players to cover 3 starting positions. Never ideal. Could work out. We'll see. I think, there's a potential that I've really hurt my floor there with that bye Week 6 and my selection of players. Could have gone with a 6th running back to make it more robust and get away from that overlapping bye Week 6 issue. The thing was, I only had 7 wide receivers at that point. I made it 8 by taking Elijah Moore with my last pick. But because I have Rashee Rice as my wideout 3, I really needed that 8th wide receiver to give me some more depth, help carry me through the first couple weeks during a potential suspension. Also felt right. Elijah Moore could be a fun bring back. So I got Jerry Jeudy and Elijah Moore. Paired up with my bet with Tyreek Hill, Achane, Tua, Mostert. Also, I got Malik Neighbors. It's been a fun click for me. I took him in the 2nd round here. And then we struggled at wide out until I landed Rice, stacked him up with Mahomes. Wasn't able to land any Steelers in this one. I got Keon Coleman, Jerry Jeudy, Jalen Polk, Malachi Corley, Elijah Moore. Decent wideout room, not the strongest. If Malik Neighbors is a smash, if Rashee Rice isn't suspended that much, comes back, is very productive, picks up where he left off. Mahomes top target, potentially even. Like I said, Tyreek Hill picks up where he left off. And then if Keon Coleman hits, or Jalen Polk hits, or even in some small ways if Malachi Corley hits later in the season, this could be a good enough wide receiver room with some upside for the playoffs. Tight end, pretty much a big bet on Brock Bowers. So there's a lot of bets on this one. It's kind of a riskier team. Not one that I commonly do. I don't get a lot of Patrick Mahomes. And that's the way it goes. Let's go look at Dale's team. 3-6-6-3 build. Wow. Interesting. I saw him get Caleb and Kirk Cousins live. I did notice that Daniel Jones was drafted. I didn't notice that Dale got him. I think that's some interesting upside. A lot of times, if you just take Caleb Williams and Kirk Cousins, you might feel like there's a little bit more to be desired in a QB room. So Daniel Jones could give you that nice, rushing QB, comeback QB of the year kind of player arc or potential outcome there. So that's fun. Bijan, Aaron Jones, Connor, Elliott, Roshan, Elijah Mitchell. It's a really solid running back room with those 6 picks. Almost, hindsight's 2020 doing this team review, almost would think you could stop with Roshan there. Might have given you one more spot to take a wide receiver, but let's take a look at the receiver before we say that and can fully conclude that and see if we could pull it off with these 6. Usually I'd be pretty skeptical about 6 wideouts. 7's kind of my default bottom number, but this room honestly could pull it off. Jalen Waddle, Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen. Just those 4, smash. Definitely could be the 4 wideouts you need to advance throughout the playoffs and get that W, put up a big score on week 17. Tyler Lockett's a good veteran depth piece. A lot of veteran wideouts in this squad. A lot of veteran players. Of course, Caleb Williams and Keenan Allen line up there, and you get Tyler Lockett with the bring back. So I like that a lot. I see what you did with Roshan leaning into the Bears. And then you got Pitts, Hunter Henry, and Theo Johnson. I think it's a pretty good tight end group. Not pretty good. It's a great tight end group. Might be too good. You might not need Hunter Henry in this one. With the upside from Theo Johnson and then Kyle Pitts if he is elite, you got him at a good value too. Overall, I don't think this squad is dead whatsoever. This is a good squad. It's a 3-6-6-3 build, a little unconventional, but there's a lot of ways this can work out. Strong at running back. I think you're good enough at wide receiver. The rare 6 wide receiver build that is actually looks pretty viable. And then 3 options at tight end, 3 options at QB. Gets the Daniel Jones, Theo Johnson connection. It's a fun one. Good draft, man. Thanks for chilling in the chat. Dale says, he also says, I would have taken Mostert if you hadn't. Yeah, I don't know if I regret that pick going Mostert. I think he's a good value at 99, and I already made such a big bet on the Dolphins. Didn't know who else I would love to take there. I honestly thought about taking James Conner over him. I like James Conner there too. I think James Conner's a great pick at 102. Yeah, happy with Conner. Exactly what I was thinking. And that's all she wrote for tonight. Thanks for chilling with me. Thanks for watching the stream, hanging out live. Appreciate y'all. And I'll be streaming again later this week. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or Wednesday particularly. We'll see. Got a tropical storm coming through Houston. Could throw a wrinkle in some plans. I usually play men's league softball Tuesday nights. We get out there and swing the sticks, rub some dirt in our wounds on the diamond. Yo, what up? Off the schneid. Missed the stream, but I'll catch it back. Heck yeah, man. Thanks for saying what's up in the chat. Just about to sign off. Finished 2 Best Ball Mania drafts tonight. I'm getting real close to my 50th. I think I got 1 more or 2 more to go until I'm at Best Ball Mania, my 50th Best Ball Mania 5 draft. So steady progress. Shout out to everyone in the chat for being here. Thanks for the support. Appreciate it. Make sure you like. Make sure you're subbed. I know you all are. And throw on notifications if you want to. If you want to catch me going live until I really get a schedule figured out. At the same time, though, I think I'm getting pretty consistent. There's a lot of nights I like to do it. Sunday nights, Monday nights, Friday nights. Always later. And catch y'all next draft. Thanks for tuning in. Let's space out.